Hello, this is Peter Guo, the product manager of Orange Industrial Products. Today I'm going to introduce our new generation industrial products, including device server, M2M gateway, and serial media converter. This page shows information of IDS141A and IDS181A, the slim type device server. With the slim type, the mini size, this device server is easier to be installed in the field with taking less space for easier installation for space saving. And this model also provides dual power input for advanced power backup. The DB62 to 4-port or 8-port DB9 connectors provides the neat and tidy cable installation. Also in the space, this can take this space for the cabling. And also, this model provides wide working temperature from -40 to 70 degrees. Industrial wireless device server IDS1112. This is a wireless device server of supporting 11B and 11G up to 54 megabits per second speed rate. And the two modes supported is ad hoc and the infrastructure mode. Wireless device server is mostly used in AGV wireless roaming application. TDS5041 IM12 is a railway type industrial device server. This device server is mainly designed for to comply with EN 50155 for the railway or the rolling stock application. All ports, including power, Ethernet, and serial ports, comply with the EN 50155 with using the M12 connectors. The serial port of this model are using IS422 and IS485 with isolation supported. The isolation is used to protect the internal circuits of the model. Also, the wall mounting kit is also provided for more secure installation for this model. The working temperature is from -40 to 70 degrees, fully complied with the rolling stock standard. IDS311B is a compact size of device server with fully function support of serial port. For example, like hardware flow control, like IST-TTS flow control, and also this model supports all-in-one type of serial mode, like IS232, 492, and 485. IMG311 is the M2M gateway of the M2M gateway device, the media gateway, and it's also a compact size with supporting 2G or 3G selectable. The customer can choose the cellular interface of 2G GSM GPIS or 3G HSUPA, HSDPA, or EDGE. This model also supports a DDNS function. This function is actually more powerful to be used in GPRS or 3G devices. For example, if the customer is using the SIM card, it is very likely for the model to get dynamic GPRS or 3G IP. With the use of DDNS, this model will automatically update the 3G IP or 2G IP to the same specific domain name. Also, this model supports the VPN function of such as OpenVPN, PPTP, VPN. ISC1112 and ISC1112-I is an industrial serial media converter from converting IS232 to IS485, IS422, and IS485. The I stands for isolation, which means this model can also have the isolation protection to prevent any outside strike attack for the internal circuit. Baud rate support is from 300 to 115 and 200 bits per second. And this model, the mainly use of this model is to convert serial interface from 232 to 422 and 485. Also extend transmission distance. IC1310F-I is an industrial serial media converter converting the IS232, 422, 485 to optical fiber. The baud rate supported is 50 to 921.6 kilobits per second. The fiber supports both multi-mode and single-mode AC connector. There's also a 3000 volt isolation protection applied in this model. And for this fiber, this is not only to convert interfaces, it's also able to extend the transmission distance up to 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers using different types of fiber. The VirtualComm conception. Actually, for the VirtualComm, the purpose of VirtualComm is to increase the component numbers of a PC. Because, for example, like in the PC, the PCI slot is always limited. So if a customer using the PCI card, the number of components can always be limited. But with the use of a VirtualComm, the number of the component numbers can be increased easily, and also it increases the transmission distance from the use of internet. It's also another advantage of VirtualComm is to have a centralized management. In the past times, in the factory, when a PLC or I/O devices has been located around the whole factory, and for example, if like the operators needs to control to monitor the PLC, they have to bring the computers right beside the I/O devices. But with the use of the VirtualComm or the device server, they can just simply have one central control room and monitor the whole I/O devices or PLC in the factory from the internet by using our device server. The VirtualComm is we use the word map to increase the port numbers. Why is this called map? Because it's the process like the COM port of the new COM port of a PC is to be mapped to a specific IP of the device server. For example, maybe a device server is using the IP address of 192.168.10.1, and this will be assigned to, for example, COM port 2 of the PC. Another advantage of a device server is that the device server mostly have two independent MAC addresses of internet interfaces. So the COM port during the mapping process, the COM port is being mapped to independent IP address. There will be one primary IP address, and the other one is a backup IP address. So during the normal operation, if the primary IP address is down, and the VirtualComm driver will automatically switch to use the secondary IP address for continuous operation. TCP server mode. This is another operation mode of a device server. This mode is actually use the network idea of server and client. For the server, it's actually playing the role of receiving connection request from the client. So in this case, why is it called TCP server mode? It's because the device server is locating on the internet and wait for the PC to send the TCP request to establish TCP connection and send further command to a PLC. TCP client mode is the reverse of application of TCP server mode. In this case, that device server is acting as a client and send the TCP connection request to the PLC to establish the connection. And In this case, like PC will be connected to the serial port of a device server, and the PLC will be some devices or some modules, some I/O modules supporting internet interface and being placed on the Ethernet side. And once the PC on the serial side is sending commands to the PLC, the device server will help the PC to establish connection and transparent the command to the PLC. Wireless device server most select. For the wireless device server, there are two modes able to be selected. One is ad hoc mode, the other one is infrastructure mode. The difference is that in ad hoc mode, there will be no access point involved in the structure. So as you can see from the diagram, the PC, the laptop, is able to connect to have wireless communication directly to the IDS1112 without any AP being placed in the middle. And in this case, like the laptop can send communication or send commands to the 1112 directly and being bypassed to the PLC from the serial interface. Also, the laptop can be replaced by another IDS1112 to have two device servers connected using the wireless connection directly. The infrastructure mode, in this mode, unlike ad hoc mode, there will be one access point being placed in between the laptop and the IDS1112. So as you can see here, the laptop and IDS1112 are both connected to IGAP620 and have a wireless communication. Also, if the customer wants to use a wired PC, it is also able to connect the PC directly on the Ethernet port of an access point and connect it to the IDS1112. If the access point is connected to the internet and also the routing has been set up correctly, devices on the internet can also have remote access to the IDS1112 and control or read data from the PLC. Wireless extreming application. This is the application mostly used for wireless device server with the access point. So in this case, as you can see from the diagram, there will be one control room to be connected with switch and the access point remotely. Wireless device server is then connected wirelessly to the access point. So once the IDS, like for example, once IDS1112 is being moved from one access point to another one, the device server will detect the signal strength and to see if there is any other access point providing better signal strength to this device server. After that, it will switch automatically to another access point without a long delay. So the operator from the control room can still monitor the data or monitor status of the IDS1112 or any devices connected to IDS1112 remotely. This is the selection guide of a device server and the M2M gateway. So depends on the needs of customer, they can select different features and different types of device server or M2M gateway. Depends on this selection guide or this comparison table.